Welcome back, everybody. Glad you could join us for Technique Tuesday. Today we are going to continue with our series on different options for dyeing leather. Sometimes you just can't find that right color or pattern, or you just want to make something abstract. So dyeing it yourself is always a great option. So this is what we're working with today, is just some veg-tan leather. And these are some of the patterns that I've come up with today. So let's get started, and let's start with materials that you'll need. First, you need to cover your workspace. Always, we're dealing with dyes and colors, and we don't need color all over the place. Paper towels, my favorite thing. I do reuse them, by the way. When I use them to soak up color from other projects, I keep them, let them dry out, and reuse them. Then you will need some plastic containers, shallow preferred. These are great. I do put them on a tray, a baking tray, so that when I go to pick them up, they don't crumble. Gloves, gotta have the gloves, and some dye. Okay, so today we're going to do something crazy. We are going to use Rit Dye. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. You probably used it when the dark blue jeans was a thing. You probably tried to dye your faded blue jeans darker. At least some of us did. Okay, maybe it was just me. Anyway, let's get started. Let me show you some stuff that I was working on earlier. And these are all using the same dye colors, just in different ways. Now, obviously, totally different color, but we'll talk about that one in a little bit. So this one's super subtle, and these are very saturated. So I started out with some green-blue colors, and I'll show you what I tried, and we can go from there. So I tried hot water. I didn't make it very deep. This is just, you know, that deep. It looks deeper just because it's a bigger container. But the reason I didn't want it very deep is I didn't want the color sinking and the leather being on top and the color being on the bottom, because this color will sink to the bottom. So once you get color sinking in the bottom, the colors get kind of muddied and you don't get clear, bright colors. So I thought, well, I'll also try it with room temperature water. Let's see. This one was done with room temperature water. This one was done with hot water, but I left it in there. I just let it soak, so the front and the back is colored. This one, I just poured one color into the water, and then I just very quickly dabbed it on top, and I got a very subtle pattern. This is me going bananas with a bunch of stuff, so I'll explain that later. So I had hot water, room temperature, then I had no water. So no water was really interesting and was the start of this. So let me start with hot water. So I took my piece of veg-tan leather, I put some water on it, and then I dunked it straight into my container of hot water. Now remember, it's not very deep. But once I put 3 different colors of blue in there. I put a teal, an aquamarine, and an emerald. So I put all 3 of those in there, and it immediately muddied the colors. So you didn't get to see the light and dark. So let's just do it again. So I just put it in there. I like doing the backs too, because when I'm cutting out earrings or other things like that that have a back side that you're going to see, I like there to be color on it. Then this is my room temperature water. I don't have a tray underneath here, so I'm just trying to shuffle things carefully. And what I'm getting at with the temperature of the water, it didn't matter. same results. So hot, cold, room temperature makes absolutely no difference. And you can see that I've already got color on my gloves, so any color that's on there is going to immediately transfer. So just kind of keep that in mind. So this one, let me just kind of dunk it and run. But again, the colors have mixed together, so you're not going to get that clear definition in the colors. So I'm going to let the back get some colors on it. And then we'll shuffle that down. And now I'm going to do no water. So for the no water, it's really not no water, it's just no soaking water. So I did spray my leather, placed it in here, and then I started off by pouring. Always finger on the lid, shake, check lid, finger on the lid, shake. You always want to make sure that you don't have a loose lid. So I started out by kind of pouring this on here because there is no spout on here, and that's where I got this crazy mess from. So I'm like, not sure about that. So then I went back and put a little bit of some of it in spray bottles. And yes, I did label them, but note to self that it's hard to see. So I might want to put a white label on there. But I'm going to, undiluted, just kind of spritz some color on here. Yes, it's going to leave me with dots because it's a spray bottle. But I'm gonna put some other color, and then I put this. Now this is funny. This is actually called neon green, so I expected neon green. It's not. It's, I'm not even sure what kind of green it is, but I'm gonna kind of messily, ooh, that's not even a word. That's not even word adjacent. But I'm going to just randomly, there we go, that's a better one, put that in dots all over and let that sit for a minute. So let me go back, let's slide all this back. Let's go back to our first one. Clear a path for my wet. And you can see all I got was blue. Just a combination blue-green, nothing really defined. So, okay, not a bad color. I'll use it for something, but not quite what I was looking for. So, same with that. This one, again, was just when I first poured the color in and the water was there, I just kind of gently tapped it onto the top of the water, and that's what I got. So now let's move down to, gosh, I think I need a bigger workspace. This one. This one was the room temperature water, and this is why I was saying that the temperature of the water makes absolutely no difference. But it was a little bit more of a shallow container, and I did just kind of gently dunk it in and then pull it right back out. So you don't get the same coverage, but you still get the muddied colors. So I think it's safe for me to pour these two together because they're just muddied. And by muddied doesn't always mean brown. It just means kind of mixed together and you can't discern a specific color out of it. So again, not quite what I was looking for, but I can still use it. There's nothing wrong with that piece of leather, and it will make some great designs. Now, speaking of mixing colors, though, I will tell you that Rit Dye has a fabulous tool on their website. It is a color mixing tool. So it will tell you if you want this color, mix this and this together, and here's the ratios, and you will get that similar color. So I thought that was really neat. The other thing about doing this is if you are looking for a specific color or you want to remember what color these items turn, take a scrap piece of leather and put a little bit of each color on the leather and just let it dry, and then you'll know for the future what that will look like on leather. Because if you try this on wood, it's going to give you a different result. It'll still work beautifully, but the color will be different because the wood's a different color than your leather. So, let's see. Let's go to our third piece, which was just this haphazard mess. And it was still a haphazard mess. So I just started playing with some more colors. And then I came back in with some air. What I mean by air is a can of compressed air. And I just started moving some of these dots of color. Now again, this just isn't very bright. It's just kind of dull. So let me put some more of, I use the aquamarine. And you can use any kind of tools with this. And by tools, I mean just, I don't know, random Q-tips. You can make a pattern. You can use your fingers. I made a really cool design earlier, but now I can't find it, where I put red on my hands and then I put my hand right down into the leather. I'll find it here in a moment and show you. Okay, so that was just me taking it and rubbing a Q-tip in it. Here's what'll happen if I take a cotton ball. Kind of softens it up a little bit. So even though it looks like it might not be anything, this could be something phenomenal by just playing with it. So I do like to use a pop of color or something different on the inside of wallets. Just, you know, the piece that holds the credit card or the driver's license. So these are always just kind of unexpected to see a pop of color in there. So this one, as you can tell, I blew the air and kind of blew it in all different directions. So let me set that aside. Let me wipe up this mess a little bit. And then let me bring these red colors over. And I got petal pink and fuchsia. And I used the spray bottle method, and I got this. You know what? Let's make another handprint so you can see. So let me take this glove off and put new gloves on. And then I am going to spray the fuchsia onto one of my hands. And let me grab a bigger piece of leather. Okay, so I've got a bigger piece of leather, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm going to lay it right onto my tray. Got clean gloves on so that I don't cross-contaminate it with another color. Looks like I need to refill my sprayer bottle. Spray that, and then I'm going to do this with the fuchsia, but I'm going to do it off to the side so that I don't get any little dots and spray bits. Okay, so this is going to be amazing for Halloween. Watch this. Give it a second. And then slowly lift your hand. It's not quite enough. And I probably should do this with a brighter red than just the fuchsia, but you guys can run out and go get red. There. That'd be kind of cool on something. I'm just not sure what. But you can use so many household items to make designs. So just start thinking outside the box and think about, what can I do differently? So let's go back, and I'm going to show you how I got this design. More gloves. Yep, you can never have too many around the house. They're kind of everywhere for me because I'm always making a mess. Oops, turn that around. Okay, so grab my leather. I don't care that it's got a little color from something else on it. Put that in my pan, and then I'm going to spray some random spots. What I like about the Rit Dye is it's cheap. These were $2.99 at Hobby Lobby, and that's for 8 ounces. Amazon is significantly more expensive than Hobby Lobby, so don't buy it there. Now for this one, I'm just going to take a little air. Don't go full blast on your air, or you're going to wind up with this color all over you. And remember, it's fabric dye, so it will be on your clothes for a very, very long time. I'm just kind of moving the color around. Then I'm going to take some cotton balls. Now, what this is leading up to, other than something kind of cool, is in one of my future tutorials, I'm going to show you how to make something like this, or my favorite, I'm into that whole Patricia Nash style, so, or something like this. So that'll be in a future tutorial, but for now, you can see that I'm just kind of dabbing color where I feel it's lacking color. You can just pick up some of the excess color from the tray and do it without trying to knock the camera over. And that's what you get. Pretty cool. So I will put the link to the Rit Dye. In fact, I think I'm going to put some more on here. I'll put the link to the Rit Dye color mixer thing below. And like and subscribe to my channel so that you'll get alerted when I put future videos up. And don't you love that? That's just creepy looking. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed today's tutorial. Thanks, and see you later.